Sporting Journal Radio, presented by Onyx.
You can have a lot of success when you're not actually jigging those rods, I think, sometimes.
I'll tell you, and we always say in Minnesota you can use two lines, so you want to do that 1-2 punch. You jig one line, and then you dead stick the other line. And, that dead stick can be a key component to put more walleyes on the ice. A few things, and you need to work the dead stick. You don't just put a minnow down under a bobber and just let it sit, and that's it. You got to work it. So what I mean by working it, Brett, is pay attention to what's going on in the fish house. Normally that golden area is 6 inches to a foot off the bottom. I know some anglers that'll put their minnows 3 feet off the bottom and make those fish swim up for them. That sometimes that can be a triggering effect. Sometimes you use a shiner. Sometimes you use a fathead. Sometimes you use a small sucker. Sometimes you go to a small crappie minnow if it's a real neutral mode because of cold weather. Sometimes, I've seen where people have used dead shiners, and they prefer the dead minnows over the live minnows. Sometimes when they hook a minnow, they'll hook it under the back dorsal. Sometimes they hook it in the lips. Sometimes they hook it down on the bottom of the minnow, so it's upside down, and the minnow will constantly try to right itself. Oftentimes, you might use a small ice jig or a glow jig with your minnow. Gold, glow, your glow reds, things like that. On other times, just a plain hook will do well. A plain hook could be just a plain red hook, or that could be a plain hook that's got that glow on it, like a glow white plain hook. Your sinker. Sometimes if you put your sinker real close to the minnow, that minnow can't move around as much. If you put your sinker higher up and have a bigger gap between your hook and your sinker, that minnow has more freedom to swim. So all those little nuances, instead of using a bobber, sometimes I'll take a rod with a real flexible tip, and I'll just set my depth with either a bobber stop or just knowing where the depth is with my Vexilar. And I'll just watch that rod tip, because sometimes you get real light biters that'll just pull that rod tip down a little bit, almost like a spring bobber. Not that sensitive, but you know what I mean? And I tell you what, there's times where it would be real hard to see that bobber move under those conditions.
Sure. Well, I see there's an article with some of those tips on your website. People can find that there, as well as more information about where to go at Lake of the Woods. What's that website, Joe?
You know what? Hey, all the information's there, Brett. Check out lakeofthewoodsmn.com.
Hear more at sportingjournalradio.com or wherever you get podcasts.